Well, hello and welcome everyone. Today we've got a CBR500R 2016 model, 26,000 Ks, and the chain and sprockets have never been done. Appalling. This thing is as loose as a goose. It's rubbing on the side stand. It is well and truly past the adjustment point. Like, it's gone past red. So I don't know whether he's waiting for it to change green again. It's dry as a bone. It is appalling. So we're going to use my favorite chain tool to fix it. This is the chain tool itself. Mine's quite old. There is a little storage compartment in here for all these bits and pieces. However, I didn't find it that useful, so that's long lost the lid for that. These are the two rods that you'll use to push the pins out on the chain. You've got one for large diameter and one for a smaller diameter chain. You've got the backing plate, you've got the front pressing part, and the riveter. Let's put it into use. So the first thing I want to do is undo the nut on the front sprocket here. Now you could put it in gear so that it doesn't turn, because at the moment it's turning. However, you don't want to stress the gearbox. So I'm going to use the Motion Pro Sprocket Jammer. Let's pop it in there, wheel the wheel backwards. Fits nicely and snugly in the sprocket there, and that's going to stop it from turning. Then I can just get my rattle gun on there and we're done. That nut's loose. So with the front sprocket now loose, we can cut that chain, and that's where this new tool is going to come in handy. So the first thing I've got to do is load up this push rod into there so we can push out the pin. And I'm going to put it over the chain. Now this will be the only time you ever see me use one of these, and all I'm going to do is just make it fit nice and snug on there so it doesn't move. Then I'll get a socket and wrench, and I'm just going to wind that up. What it's going to do is push that pin through. Once it goes loose, we know it's all good. Then we just undo that, wind it off, and that pin is removed. Then I'm just going to take the old front sprocket off, put the new one on, remove the rear wheel, take the old rear sprocket off and put the new one on, and put the rear wheel back into the bike. So I've got a little cable tie here, and what I'm going to do is connect the new chain to the old one, and now I just pull it through. So we're just cutting the new chain to size, and we're using the exact same setup as before, and I've got it handy on there. I'll just nip it all up and get this link out and we'll be good to go. So I'm just going to put the rivet link in. So I have made sure that I've got the O-rings either side. I've greased up the whole link with the supplied grease. I've got the O-rings on the back of the front plate as well, as you can see, and I'm going to just rest that plate on there for now, because you're not going to be able to push it on by hand. That's the next step. We're going to remove the push rod assembly from the tool and install the press plate. You got to make sure you put the backing plate on there, and that's going to stop me pushing any pins through or damaging anything. I'm just going to put it on there nice and cozy. Just make sure I got it all nice and lined up. I'm just going to do it up now. So at this point in the video, I came across a bit of a problem. When I was riveting, it was out of focus. Anyway, don't fear, I've got another rivet link, and we're going to do it on the bench, which probably works better anyway because you get to see it a lot closer up. So let's look at that. So this is our rivet link here, and we're going to burr over the edges here. So what we're going to do is set up our tool. We've got the backing plate there. We've removed the pressure plate. We're going to put the riveting tool in. Just going to slot it down in there like so. And we've just got to adjust it so that it protrudes a little bit, about there. And we put our link in, adjust the whole unit down, and we're just going to take our wrench and wind down the internal rod so that it puts pressure on the rivet there, which will burr over the edges with the riveting tool. Undo it, and we'll have a look at it. So you might have to do it a few times to get the right measurement, but you can see that this one's starting to flare out and this one hasn't yet. So we'll do the other one. So we just load up the tool. So you can see now that the edges are now burred over on that link. So there are two measurements you really want to keep in mind when you're doing this. First of all, you want to make sure the width of the link that you put on is the same width as one of the existing links. Secondly, how far you burr the rivet over is often written on the box or in the instructions of the chain. If it's not, typically, and this is generalized, it's between 0.5 to 0.7 mil over what it was to begin with. Again, always check the manufacturer's specifications if you're unsure. And there you have it. That's the DRC Pro chain tool. I've had it for about 5 years, never had a problem with it. A lot of other mechanics when I first got the tool were telling me that those push rods are going to break from all the use, and so I bought spare ones, which is great that DRC sell parts for this, but I've never used them. They're still in the packaging, and I've done heaps of chains. I've never broken one of those push rods. So definitely chain tool wise, guys, if you're interested in it, check it out. Go and check out my other videos, come over to the channel, subscribe and like the video.